At the end of the day, what the PlayStation 5 is capable of and what it's not capable of is really comes down to what Sony had the foresight to put into the console itself. Luckily, from everything we've heard from developers and everything we've heard from Sony themselves, it sounds like they went all out trying to build a well-rounded, complete machine that is going to both be pleasing to both developers and, of course, gamers as well. And now we get some more information about some stuff that was put into the PlayStation 5 maybe later in the game than people thought, and this was done to strictly help the PlayStation 5 from a technology standpoint to be more competitive and things like that. So even though the PlayStation 5 has probably been in design for years, they probably were still tinkering with it up until the very last minute before it goes into production. And this is going to be a very interesting video, a very enlightening video, and I'm very interested in hearing the feedback after it's over, but we should all learn something from this as well and have a good time. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel and it means a lot to me personally. Shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, everybody in between. You're simply amazing and absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for spending another bit of time with me on a video. It means the world to me. If you want to help out the channel, please hit that like button, share it out, hit the bell so you're notified of everything as soon as it drops. That's just incredible. It's been a phenomenal time listening to your guys' feedback on the channel and stuff like that. So anyway, PlayStation 5, it's coming. It's coming sooner than later. People are talking about it. One of the interesting things about the PlayStation 5, in my opinion, is more people are talking, and I've covered this multiple times, more people are talking about the PlayStation 5, like big third-party developers, than are actually talking about the Xbox Series X, which I find to be completely fascinating. And the reason why it's fascinating is because Microsoft have the most powerful console, and the only ones really talking about it are some of these smaller developers that are putting their games into Game Pass day and date. So that really could give Sony an edge going into next generation, where third-party devs want their stuff showcased on console, obviously, and Microsoft only is allowing people to showcase their games that are going to be in Game Pass day and date, trying to showcase the value of Game Pass, when Sony is going about things completely differently. So one of the things that's interesting is the developer, which I can link this article in the description. You have a developer talking about the capabilities of the PlayStation 5, the solid-state drive, but much more than just a solid-state drive. This is something that I'm going to be able to link, of course, in the description, like I do all my news stories. You can check out the description and see what's in there. One of the things is developers talking about the PlayStation 5, and this is what he said. He said, "I think for sure we're going to see some innovations all around in regards to the PlayStation 5. What gets me excited is the things that are built into the hardware to process things faster. All these things you can think of, like ray tracing and the benefits we will see. We've seen ray tracing already, but never seen the full potential because we've never had people dedicated exclusively to building worlds around this technology. And in the new generation, it's going to be ubiquitous everywhere. The teams are going to work on technology to support ray tracing and how to use it. And I'm quite sure we're going to come out with some things we weren't actually expecting. Ray tracing can also have an impact on how we play games. You can see reflections everywhere, for example, which can affect how AI reacts because they can respond to those reflections. That's something you can now have and incorporate into your design that you didn't have and that you didn't think of before. How long it'll take to see this in actual game remains to be seen, but it could change up stealth games significantly." So again, that's just one developer's personal take on exactly how advanced PlayStation 5 is with things like ray tracing. Also, again, do we need to rebuttal the fact that the PlayStation 5 has full ray tracing capabilities, hardware-based ray tracing capabilities? Because it still seems like that's a narrative thing, despite these big developers out there saying the exact opposite, saying, hey, no, it's got ray tracing, you're going to be able to ray trace, and Digital Foundry has already confirmed ray tracing on multiple games that we saw at the PlayStation 5 showcase. So there is that. And again, the Xbox Series X is going to be able to do that. People, mostly myself as well, are definitely talking about the capabilities and what we want to see with the ray tracing and the different things like that. So I feel like a lot of people just are trying to short sight the PlayStation 5 simply because it's realistically even more powerful than a lot of people give credit to. And not only is it more powerful than people give credit to, but it's really just not even significantly less powerful than the Xbox Series X. So Microsoft they have a beast of a machine, but they refuse to show anything running on it, and we just know that, you know, the little 16 to 18% different isn't really a big deal. It's going to come down to the games and what these companies can do, and Microsoft is more dedicated to Game Pass than actually creating graphically intensive games that are really going to showcase the power of what they have to begin with. So also, there was this other developer, which, again, I'll link all this stuff. This was in the PlayStation Magazine, talking about their game and how the lightning fast solid-state drive in the PlayStation 5 is the perfect home for their game. And they said beyond the solid-state drive, the power of the PlayStation 5 allows the game to do a lot more of these work on, referred to better resolution, frame rates, and maps and locations. And his game's going to be, quote, brimming with activity, and teased that players will be surprised to just see how busy some areas will be in the new game, all made possible by the PlayStation 5. Things that weren't possible before. Think about it this way, okay? One of my favorite franchises is the Batman Arkham games, right? Absolutely love the atmosphere, love those games, think they're phenomenal. Now, when you go and look at the games themselves, they're sparse in any kind of activity, ambient activity from, you know, people actually in the game. You drive around the towns, there's nobody outside, and the reason was, obviously these things were like bottleneck CPUs, and they weren't powerful enough to really pull that off. I think Sony did a good job with, or Insomniac and Sony did a good job with Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, because there were people all around, and you get that kind of atmosphere, and it's exciting to see that kind of atmosphere. And now they're going to be able to sort of do the same thing with the next generation on all these games, and that's thrilling to say the least. So according to them, their game is going to mark yet another big leap forward to technology driven and inspired by the capabilities of the PS5. It's an extraordinary complex game that has multiple systems running at the same time that support each other, so having more power to play with gives them more options and lets us do significantly more. On the subject of technical improvements, they stated that the environments and lighting have been pushed to their limits, while not but they have not confirmed ray tracing reflections yet. But he did praise the results of the screenplay space reflections in his last game. Specifically, screen space reflections are truly pushed to its limits. Those improvements will add across the trilogy of games. And the other day, one of the tech artists showed me some before and after shots on one of the game screens, and the difference in quality was mind-blowing. So again, it's very interesting to hear developers talk up the PlayStation 5. I'm not saying that the PlayStation 5 is going to be is going to be the most powerful, because I've been on record as saying I absolutely don't think that. But what I do think is that Sony has some pretty incredible talented engineers and developers, and they've created something that everybody can kind of enjoy and everybody can kind of get the most from. And I feel like that's going to be super important going forward. I would love to see, their first party put stuff out, like Horizon is obviously going to be a huge game. I can't wait to see what the developers can do with that. But like even more so with like God of War, I'm very interested to see what, Naughty Dog's working with and what they can do with the PlayStation 5. Obviously, these developers know what they're doing. Even the multiplats, right? Like everybody assumes that multiplats are going to be like this huge difference between Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5. And every developer seems to kind of indicate the other that it's not really going to be a huge difference. I'm talking like big developers, like you hear some of the small ones or whatever, but at the same time, it's going to be very funny just to see how close these things are. And again, I did a video the other day about machine learning with the PlayStation 5 and what they were able to do with that technology. So you could take like a 1440p image and with that technology make it look better than a 4K native image. So the graphical fidelity keeps going up, and the resolution isn't as important as it was previously. Like I know everybody wants to go back to the time where 720p versus 1080p or 4K versus 1892p. Like that stuff is so unimportant. Digital Foundry is going to keep telling you it's unimportant. Anybody that's kind of doing digital anything is going to tell you that it's very, very unimportant anymore, especially given with the technology and the graphical fidelity and the leaps and stuff like that. So, again, going to be very interesting to see how that all plays out, and I would absolutely love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. Again, What do you guys think? Like this tech that they've added in here, it sounds pretty phenomenal. Again, not taking anything away from the Series X, but in terms of what PlayStation has offered, it's clearly hands down could be the best PlayStation console ever created, just from a feature standpoint. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they have to show off, and when I can actually pre-order one and kind of see what the launch lineup is going to be, and that launch year, what we're going to get within that time frame as well. Microsoft, they still have a little bit of proving left, in my opinion, but I guess we'll see how that works out as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can hit me up on Twitter at @the_Crapgamer, Xbox Live, MOH space Crapgamer. PSN is just Crapgamer. And as always, thank you very kindly for taking time out of your busy schedules to watch one of my videos. I'm truly humbled. Thank you. Please stay safe, happy, and healthy. Rack 'em up. Game on, everybody. Game on. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.